Nice to be up here in the country, having a good cup of coffee. Can you make this bread?
No, that's focaccia from Mashi, but from Pet.
What do you call it?
Is it ciabatta?
Ciabatta?
The bread, yeah.
What's the ingredients in this?
They use a sourdough starter,
So,
but it's more of like a crusty sandwich bread. But I like it.
very nice.
Do you remember any of them details you know here then?
No. Anyways, boy.
So what do starter?
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Egg, sausage, okra, tomatoes, shadow benny, pepper,
Onion.
onion. I seen something looking like string cheese there. Hey, cheese is a nice thing, boy. And this is pears with
Just half up here.
half a pear.
And one.
Sound like me, half a pear. With was it the sprinkle thing? Tajin? Tahine.
It was good coming up here, man.
You gotta pay for your labor, you know.
Pay me for my labor. Will you sprinkle on the pear?
Something called tahine. It's a Mexican seasoning, like I think it has bits of tamarind too. There's like chilies and lime, salt, garlic powder.
Is if you never had it, it's a really nice thing to have on fruit. Really, really nice.
Powder form?
Kim introduced me to this and good stuff. Tajin?
Yeah.
Tajin. You could ask it. Oh, so because it's Mexican, they pronounce it with a H.
So where you getting this in supermarkets?
Yeah, they started bringing them down recently, but up to last year, I've never seen it in Trinidad. But then when we came back from the States and I brought back a nice big bottle, I started seeing them in the groceries.
Oh, Martin.
Remember when you used to go Eddie had to walk plenty, boy? Daddy was really into daily fitness, you know. Up to the point where you had a...
How does that?
You talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Up to the point where you had a heart attack. You were walking, then you would go and make 10 laps there. You know, a lap around there. But I guess you just get about 1,000 steps on it, right? I just get about 1,000 as well. Which will take you about 10 minutes. So when you do 10 laps, it probably take you about 1 hour and 15 minutes, 1 hour and a half for walking.
Yeah, sometimes an hour. Yeah.
Daddy always, when you go walking with Daddy, he says walk the first 2-3 laps kind of slow, eh? But when they hear he warm up so bad, you can't catch him, you know?
No, you can more than catch me.
Over
Hey.
the... go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Growing up over the years with you, you really were dedicated to fitness, boy. Daddy's one of them people who could do his fitness at home. And on that Tuesday, he got to play tennis.
But I used to play tennis and go and make a couple laps, you know. Venice and I used to play tennis at 1 o'clock in the day. Finish about 3 o'clock.
You think that might get heart attack?
I miss playing tennis with you. You very
Yeah.
nice that we went to play.
What's the name of that spot you would go? Originally, we used to go in the back of Orange Grove.
Yeah.
There's what was that? Like an old colonial house with a tennis court.
That was the sports club for Orange Grove.
Ah, that is what I was.
But then,
That building still stands?
no, I think they tore it down.
And they would have put what, Belgroves is in that vicinity, or it was a little behind Belgroves?
Belgroves is just
That
behind
is what that was.
Printer Plan. Just beyond Trinidad Plan if you're heading south from the main road.
So that was their little country club for whoever.
Mm-hmm. The Orange Grove officials, the invited guests,
Oh,
they used to be there.
boy. Hey, one thing. When that colonial order, you go and you see evidence of it in different places. When we went to Cuba as well, and check out that Sevilla place, they always establish a kind of country club setting. Remember writing about that too in Gustav Cora? That's a Villa House.
Hey, you think I should print some more books, boy? People asking about it. You think it's worth it?
Yeah, it would have any books. The thing is, sometimes the quantity of the order and the shipping, you then end up with, I mean, because for it to make sense, you have to order like about 300 of them books. 200 to 300 of them books. So now you're faced with the responsibility, of selling them 300 books. I don't know if you have a market for 300 books. So in the interim, if it is you are interested in Dad's book, Gustav Cora, you could take a look at Amazon.com and order it. It's about like $9.99 US. And it's a Prime item. So if you have Amazon Prime, you could get free shipping to yourself.
Which I think is a real fair option versus having
Yeah.
copies on hand to order on Amazon. And if they're interested in Trinidad and they can't order on Amazon, you order it for them and let them cover the cost that you're interested
Okay, you mean me order it from Amazon?
and let them reimburse you, let them buy it
For your
from you.
shipping cost.
Okay.
But it will end up that we paying a little more for it, whether it's like instead of $100, it might be $150 to $200 for the book. So, yeah. So you had that country club there, and we would go there and play tennis. And I remember one time I was in secondary school. I was telling Haley about that the other day on Anna. I say a bad word in class. But I should give the whole story
Go
to
ahead.
put it into context. But there was this girl in class, and very, very playfully, nothing aggressive, I shouldn't have done it, but very playfully she was passing and she had a nice thick plait and a tug her hair. Not forcefully for headache or anything, right? But this fella who observed and have a crush on this girl, he pay a fella $5 to slap me.
What?
A partner, man, you know.
And the fella slap you?
And the fella slapped me $3 man.
Wait a minute. Where he slap you? In the face?
Yeah, boy.
It
He
hurt?
slapped me. Yeah, enough for me to retaliate. So I was like, you know, what a donkey, boy.
So wait a minute.
And
How you
we
retaliated?
scuffle a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But in no big way. Because I was shocked. I didn't even know what he slapped us for at that point. I don't forget, I told her here playfully.
So when you found out? When did you find out that the fella had paid him?
Well, subsequent to that, the teacher would come into the classroom, right? And the story ended up revealing itself. Well, what is going on here, boy? Well, this one slapped me, what he slapped me for? Well, I slapped him because that one gave me $5 because he tugged me. Alright, so what you do? You slap Lyndon, you have 1,000 lines to do. I would not fight in school, right? And Mr. Batiste, what you say? I say this would donkey. The 3-letter word. Alright, I will not curse in school.
Oh, Jesus. You have 1,000 lines too?
1,000 lines.
And what happened now? You...
So I spend, to come back to that country club and tennis, I do Saturday morning, you go in and play tennis. And I remember Liba was with us. And I all by the country club sit down on the side of the court, running after balls, because that's all Daddy used to let me do. And writing lines. 1,000 lines that I will not curse in school.
But that was a waste of time, eh?
That weekend, we also end up in Perin, the river. And I all by the river writing lines. Literally whole week.
Did the teacher ever take up that? Check it
But
out.
on Monday,
Uh-huh.
when I deliver them lines to that lady,
Oh, female. Okay.
she tear up them lines and just sprinkle it like snowflakes into the dustbin. Say, all right.
Okay, there's a message there, you know. That message was, you wasted time. It had no value. But I hope you learned the lesson. You ever tug at Kim's hair?
Occasionally, I just try.
But you ever got any lines from her?
I'm more lenient.
You're more lenient.
I get trapped.
Kim this beat. Yeah. Thanks for breakfast. That was good.
You're welcome.
Very good. I feel like I could dig again. So,
Hold on, hold
so
on.
was there a table tennis board at our country club as well? Or we didn't have inside access to it?
No, there might have been one. There might have been a billiards board too, right? But
Okay.
we never had access to it. By the time we came around, the doors were already shut. Access was not granted to. They didn't seem to be using it any longer. But the tennis court was available.
You had something you wanted to say about the lines?
No, I think we get over that. You know, we get past that already. But the lines are really. You think children still get lines in school? Students?
I think if they get lines, they wouldn't do it. Also get lines in school, Kim? Detention lines.
Yeah. I remember doing it once. So
You get lines? Who you get lines for?
I do not remember. I think it was in primary school. It was probably in primary school. And if I get lines, most likely it was the whole class.
Is what?
The whole class get
The
lines.
whole class get lines.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, that's
As an individual, you would not have done something wrong.
but we were very loyal to each other. So when somebody making noise or somebody beat somebody or somebody do something, nobody taller than the other person
Naturally.
because snitches end up in ditches.
So what Kim saying is that for her to get lines, chances are the whole class had to get lines. And snitches end up in ditches. So they wouldn't sell out who was talking or misbehaving. And as a consequence, poor little Badlu get lines to do.
Hey, that was the first and only time Miss Katie ever beat me, you know,
Uh,
because everybody was making noise and we didn't want to say who.
so as a special good morning to or good day to Miss Kitty. Hopefully you can hear what Kimberly said in the background. But she thinks you're a wonderful
But
teacher
I
and
could tell she was holding back
contribution.
when she beat me. I could tell she was holding back. 'Cause
Yes.
Usually she would give it.
You leave Miss Kitty alone. yeah, so with the tennis,
Yeah.
you ended up by Aero. Is Aero Services there?
Aero Services.
On the or just on the bus route?
Yes. So we switched to Aero Services and they were really very kind to us. Their fee was minimal.
Yeah.
And
You
we-
were the treasurer for the club, and the club ended up going bankrupt. Daddy, so Daddy was part of this tennis club, the Golden Boys, right? Well, the sun set on them Golden Boys. It probably have about 2 of them remaining.
And we have access.
How many of the Golden Boys remain?
Boy, how many alive? That's about.
Wait, when the Golden Boys club started?
The Golden Boys Club started when we moved from down by that Orange Grove setting
Uh-huh.
to Aero
Bananas.
Services. Hello,
Oh,
sweetheart. how
that
are
is
you?
when the Golden. So
Yeah.
you all used to get to play at that country club for free?
Yes, we played there for free. We had about 40 members
In the Golden Boys?
when we were down there in Orange Grove section there.
Uh-huh.
And when we moved there, we could have counted 40 members. Now we are just about 4 or 5 alive, but inactive,
Yes.
right?
The last time I went with you all to play tennis, you were playing with Uncle Dennis.
Yes.
Uncle Dennis was probably what, about 75? Oh,
5 years ago, he would have been about 79.
79 years old.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting to see these golden boys playing tennis,
Without
because at 79 years old, Uncle Lennox wearing these straps, he coming on the court. But he planting, I don't really know the parts about a lawn tennis court, but they have the serving box there. So he will stand up at the tee of the serving box. But he can't run, he can't really move. So if Daddy wants to get a little rally going, Daddy need to play the ball directly to him.
Yeah.
And if you play this a little too wide, and you come always outside when you hit the ball. I hit it too wide. Oh, sucks right, lads. You hit it too far there, boy. But Uncle Lennox retailing the ball to Daddy now. Who could run back then? He retailing it indiscriminately. Are you running all sides of that court?
I think that man got a heart attack.
And Uncle Lennox, man, stand up in one spot just hitting that ball. Age is something, boy.
Yeah, age is really something.
Age is something. But the Golden Boys, I remember some of them. Let me tell you who I remember. I remember you will decide if you want to call their names, right?
Yeah.
I remember a Chinese.
That is Chong. I call her name
Man.
because they were good boys.
He's still alive?
No, he passed away.
Seriously?
Yes, he passed away.
I remember him being a very nice man.
Yes.
Right?
Julian.
Quiet. Mr. Yeah, he was a school teacher.
Yes, he was a school teacher somewhere in San Juan. Yeah, he was a good boy too. Kenny Joseph. But Kenny Joseph was the humorist.
Yeah. He had real talks, boy.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of stocky Afro-Trinidadian guy.
That's
And he's
Max,
wear glasses. Max.
Max, yes, Max.
Sturdy man.
Max.
He's still alive?
He's still alive, yeah. Yeah.
And you also had
Kello boy.
Kello,
Kello is,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. He wear wristbands.
Yeah.
And a strap over the head like who's that Spanish tennis player again?
Nadal, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember coming to Italy as a little fella and a teenager and watching you. I think funny enough, lawn tennis looks easy, but when you start to play it, you realize, shucks, wait, this game exerting, boy.
A guy from Aero Services came on,
Uh-huh.
and every ball he fired and he missed. First outing,
Yeah.
He said, "You sure this racket has strings on it?"
And the anticipation that comes when somebody hit the ball, and I was looking at some videos, maybe when I used to play tennis with you, and there's a jump that you do at the point where the opponent makes contact, and it kind of prepares you to dart left or dart right and forward, right? But I'm surprised at how hard it is. The point I really want to make though is recently the sport I really enjoy and like and okay at is table tennis.
Yeah.
And Daddy really good at table. I don't know if he's still good.
No. Everything
Daddy
is behind me now.
real good at table tennis, boy. Whew. So I was thinking about. I started looking it up on online to see if I could find a table tennis club.
You found anything?
There's something that I saw in Arima. I tried calling them, but I didn't get through.
That's good that you're making inquiries, man.
Yeah. Because, and I'm not just making it for myself. Like them. I think being a part of some kind of Golden Boys
Yes.
is, even if you have to carve time out of your schedule to get it done, I feel like it is a real important activity. I don't know you as a, growing up, I don't know you as a man or a father who was leaving the home to go online with partners and things. But I remember you reserving your Thursdays to go and get a little knock. Maybe every day you would go for a walk, but Thursday was, Thursday is tennis day. Lads coming over there. Louis, what we can ask? Daddy grocery Louis, I'm a tennis on a Thursday.
I was coming up last week from San Fernando, Saturday. And I looked at the time, right? And I see it was almost 3 o'clock. And we were somewhere by the swamp area where you take the boats to go out in the swamp.
Right.
And I said, Louis, in the old days, at this hour, I'll be trying to get to the tennis court for 3 o'clock. At this time of the year, it gets dark pretty soon, right? So if you get there, you're excited, you're out of sync with the whole game at the moment. It's almost like a futile effort, but you're going. You're going. And you're hoping you can clinch a little game, right? It used to be strenuous. It was harder to get to the court than to be on the court playing. And it was more taxing. It was very taxing to get there. And by the time you got there, you're kind of exhausted, eh? Mentally exhausted because so many things in the way.
Yeah.
But I guess that is life, eh?
Yeah, and it gives you a certain sense of rhythm too, eh? Even the rhythm. Boy, this, I mean, I don't want to stray too far from the Golden Boys because that's what we're talking about. But even like the discipline of having these things, something to look forward to, something to just kind of maybe just put a 1 hour break in your weekly efforts. But that's that sense of community that you could get. Some people might get it through cooking, sport, walking. I appreciate the value of it because I think I kind of more or less appreciate a isolated life. Yeah, I don't have
You like to be quieted.
yeah, and I don't know that. Like I'm not really big. I could chat with people and things, but to say like to be part of a community,
Yeah.
I don't think that would come naturally. Maybe I could be a little bit introverted in that sense. But you think about the memories even you have now of the Golden Boys, and you could maybe laugh at a particular event or remember, hey, Tulam was quick on the court, boy, or Max had a hard service. You know, it is kind of equipped you in some sense so that in your golden years, maybe when you can't do this anymore, you have something to
Reflect on anyway.
reflect on.
Yeah. You know one thing about I think a little thing about tennis too. Your own racket becomes like your space, right? You know your space in your home. You retreat to it, as you say when you're an introvert or you want your little space, maybe to read, to be creative. Your racket was your racket. If your racket was being repaired somewhere, and you said to I said to Leonard, okay, I'll use your racket. The feel is not there, you know. The feel is not there. And maybe this happens too when people visit, right? You visit, you overnight, but you're not in your own bed. You're not in your own room. You're not in your own environment. And that comes like, well, I have to tolerate this. I have to learn to tolerate not being in a familiar environment. But I must be pleasant in this environment because circumstances are prevailing. I don't know if I'm coming across as I should. But to have your own thing, I guess that's why people have families. You have your own little family. You have developed your own little touch with your kids, your wife, until they grow and then they leave. Then you find each other in a more profound way because this is our space. This is our familiar ground with each other. I want to ask a question. Do you think that this question about having a high IQ is essential in marriage?
Well, here what I would suggest. I would suggest that I answer your question in part 2
In part 2?
of this video.
Okay.
Because we have been talking for 23 minutes.
Really?
And I don't want your blood to get too cool. I think we should do a little bit more work. And
Okay, in part 2.
in part 2, we could talk about marriage and IQ.
Okay, good for you.
What do you think?
I think you're a brilliant guy. Your IQ is pretty high.
Yeah. So, I want to shout out the surviving Golden Boys. By the time we post this video, none of them might be around. And, and if you enter, if you're looking at this and dear viewer, if you're looking at this and you are a part of some community and you want to share your experience briefly or not briefly in terms of what being part of a community, whether it's a sport or some kind of group, what it does for you as an individual and how you benefit, so maybe someone else could learn from the experience. And shout out to everybody who just trying to do as good as they could do.
Thank you, sir.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Come, let me go and walk.
We go.
All this talk, yeah, I'm talking here.